And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are, getting another committed to being your consumer advocate. Another day here in studio, helping you win and understand your buying decisions, making you just a bit more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. That is our goal. Save our hotline number in your phone at some point. You may need it. 813-670-7372. You can call or text our hotline number, 813-670-7372. And make sure you bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. 80 different categories of consumer advocate content and advice right here daily. Also, a lot of the current economic trends, things happening not only here in Tampa Bay, but also nationally. And we zero in more on the Tampa Bay by interviewing our local expert contributors. These are folks that take time out of their busy schedules and serve the community as a consumer advocate. We talk a lot about being a collaborative economy right now. I think it's going to take local business owners, nonprofit business leaders to come together and work together and collaborate to help pull us through this COVID-19. You know, a lot of the businesses that have gone out of business are not going to reopen. They're done. They have been forced to close and they're not going to come back. So we want to help you win in your real estate deals, of course, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. I'm a published author as well. Check out our book on Amazon. It's Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. Wrote that book about our model of uniqueness with radio, TV show marketing. And we are on our book number 3 right now as well with Eli Gonzalez, the ghostwriter, the godfather of ghostwriting, writing that book about current economic trends in real estate, marketing trends as well, based right here in Tampa Bay. We're going to help you win in any marketplace. And as you know, I'm the owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. A couple of hot listings here in Tampa Bay I want to talk about. 520 George Street South. This is a waterfront beauty on Lake Tarpon, 2,500 acre lake right here in Tampa Bay. This property is great opportunity for a family to have waterfront living at its best. Bring your boat, bring your jet skis, stand up paddleboards, go fishing on the lake, enjoy that lifestyle. And the price is less than $500,000. It's only at $499. Great opportunity to own real estate, private dock, mother-in-law suite right here in Tampa Bay. And we also have another vacant land opportunity at 4214 Peaceful Lane. 4214 Peaceful Lane in Land O'Lakes. This is on Bell Lake, which is a 90-acre ski lake. Peaceful Lane has 8 lots, 5 of which are right on the waterfront. Check out all of our beautiful listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And this segment is brought to you by the Bilmar Beach Resort, the beautiful Bilmar Beach Resort on Treasure Island, filled with fantastic and generous amenities to make your vacation that much more special. Say hello to Clyde Smith. He's the general manager. Let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take him up on special offers just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. The Bilmar Beach Resort on beautiful Treasure Island. They got 2 pools on site, Sloppy Joe's Beach Bar and Restaurant, and 90% of the rooms have a view that overlooks the beach. Not all hotels have that similar view. I love going and visit our friends at the Bilmar Beach Resort over on Treasure Island. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, so today's show, we got a great lineup for you here today. We're going to interview attorney Millie Athanason. She is a awesome attorney here in Tampa Bay. She's got over 30 plus years in the business, and she's giving us an update. She's bringing in some research that she's done on the PPP programs, and a lot of business owners, folks are understanding, trying to understand and navigate those waters as if they're not busy enough running their businesses, trying to understand how do these programs work. Attorney Millie Athanason is going to come in and talk to us about that. Gregg Bowman, AC guy in Tampa Bay, talk about indoor air quality. What you find with indoor air quality is that the EPA says the indoor air is 5 times worse than breathing outside air, of course, outside, as well as Michael Riker. He's giving us a call in, zooming in from California. He's on Oggvo.com. He's going to be in via Zoom. Now, Oggvo is a unique and interesting software company that has new integrations in their platform, and it enables you to automate some of your social media posting, and social media tools that implement as well with integrations into their platform can help you get reviews. It's all about getting those online reviews for small business owners. Super important to do that. real estate, mortgage, credit, finance, estate and tax planning, all these different areas, you want to make sure that you have your online reviews up to par. It's kind of like your digital footprint in a way, and it's a way that people can understand, the type of work that you've done and what you've done in the past is going to predict what you're going to do in the future in a lot of cases. We're also going to talk about the unemployment, the Tampa employment information, talk about median incomes here in Tampa Bay versus the rest of the state. So a great show today lined up. Follow us online. We would love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook, also Platinum MVP Team on Facebook. We'd love to connect with you there. And we can link up on LinkedIn as well, Brandon Rhymes PA on LinkedIn. And stay with us. We're going to be back here with an interview with attorney Millie Athanason right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We're a top 1% real estate group here in Tampa Bay, and we want to help you win buying, selling, or investing. Of course, we would love to talk to you. My wife, Lindsay, and I own and operate a top team here in Tampa Bay. Check us out. Just recently featured in Florida Realtor Magazine. Florida Realtor Magazine did another special write-up on us. We've been featured in that magazine multiple times, but Florida Realtor Magazine wanted to know more about our branding style, how we're creatively promoting our team and our real estate listings and our brand. And we feature our listings live on air on our syndicated show. And just like we're talking about here, 12500 Hamlin Road. This is up in Spring Hill. Hamlin is 41 acres in Spring Hill. Great development opportunity, beautiful property here, Hamlin Road, Spring Hill. Great opportunity to develop and build properties here in Tampa Bay. Going to help you win in any marketplace. And you can see our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Platinummvpteam.kw.com. And the Golf Cart Depot, big shout out to our friends over at the Golf Cart Depot. I love riding around in our golf cart. We use it for personal use, bringing the dogs for a walk, having fun with it. Also, getting out and doing some door knocking as well, pre-COVID, post-COVID-19. Looking forward to getting out there again with the COVID-19 stuff passing and everything happening with that space. But they've got the Easy Go, Star EV, Cushman, pre-owned and remanufactured golf carts available from our friends at the Golf Cart Depot of Tampa Bay. 2 locations right here as well, Land O'Lakes location and a Clearwater location in Tampa Bay. Say hello to Marty and his team. They do a great job at the Golf Cart Depot. Make sure you let them know you heard about them right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. That is our number one goal. And we have attorney Millie Athanason back in studio. Welcome back.
Thank you very much, Brandon.
Hey, my pleasure. I love having attorneys in studio. You know, we want to have that legal talk. We want to find out, from a legal standpoint, what's happening. And you have some great information for us, kind of an update on the PPP program and some of those other programs that our government has so graciously handed out to so many people.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's talk about it. Right now there's some recent changes. So many people. Look, first of all, a recent story, 1.5 million more jobless workers file for unemployment. A lot of the small businesses, about half of the small businesses that have been forced to close due to coronavirus, Chinese virus, a.k.a. COVID-19, has forced to close. About half of those businesses won't reopen. And now, but there's some programs out there that people may not understand. They may not understand how easy it is to qualify and the payback.
Absolutely. So there's the Paycheck Protection Program. And as of June 5th, which was last Friday, President Trump signed into law the Paycheck Protection Program Flexibility Act, where essentially he's clarified and made some of the requirements more lax for the forgiveness aspect of the loans. We only have until June 30th to apply for the Paycheck Protection Program loans. So they didn't extend the deadline as far as application for the funds, but they are extending the deadline in order to utilize the funds. When the act was first set up, they said that you had to utilize the funds that you were given on the loan within 8 weeks of the time that you got them, and no later in any event until June 30th.
Yeah.
Well, they've extended that program for the very reason you mentioned, that a lot of businesses are having trouble starting back up. Most states are staggering the reopening process.
Yep.
So they need more time. So what the federal government has done is they have extended that period to 24 weeks from the time that you get your money, or from the time that the next payroll period is from the time that you receive the money,
right,
or the earliest of December 31st of this year, whichever comes first.
So Millie, a lot of this money was also supposed to be meant for payroll purposes, right?
Correct. So what's happened is, initially when the act was started, you had to utilize 75% of those funds for payroll expenses, such as the actual payroll benefits, such as health insurance that you would pay for your employee, or contributions to their 401k or retirement plan, or vacation pay, sick pay, those kinds of things.
Right.
Well, now they're saying that instead of 75%, you have to utilize at least 60% of those funds for that purpose. And you can use 40% of the funds in order to pay your rent payments on your business premises,
yep,
or your mortgage payments, so long as those payments were already in existence prior to February 15th of
right,
this year. So it's given the employer more flexibility on how to utilize the funds. I still recommend to my clients that if you can, keep those funds in a separate account, because when you go to apply for forgiveness of the loan, which the government is allowing, you want to make sure that you can create a paper trail of how those funds were utilized, because otherwise, how are you going to prove whether you spent 60% on payroll or 40% on some other expense? And if you commingle that in your regular operating account, a lot of small businesses, they'll pay some of their personal expenses out of the
right,
account, things like that. Well, you don't want to take that kind of chance when you're trying to get the whole loan forgiven. So I recommend just put those funds in a separate account, and you know that you use 60% of them for payroll and 40% of them for the other business expenses, such as your rent, mortgage, and utilities.
Simplify it. Make it easy. Go to your banker. Hey, just open up a separate account, another checking account. Shouldn't charge you any money to do that.
No.
Or if it is, it's very minimal. And then
Yes.
have your own separate checking account with that, or even a debit card if you're paying some things online.
Absolutely. And keep a paper trail, like print out that receipt, which normally most of us don't do, but print that out and keep that. Make sure you have a copy of your lease, your
Right on.
mortgage, whatever you need. So what they've done also, they've extended the time for the repayment of the loans. Before, it was a 2-year repayment policy. Now, on new loans, not on existing loans, but on new loans, they're allowing you to extend the payment period for up to 5 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you've got more time to pay that. It also eliminates the penalty and provides a safe harbor system for the employer. In other words, you're supposed to utilize those 60% of the funds to make payroll expenses.
Right.
Well, obviously, since when most businesses are reopening, they're reopening at a much smaller capacity, such
Yeah.
as 25, 50%, whatever that may be. They're not going to necessarily be able to rehire all of the furloughed and laid off employees like they used to be able to
Right.
do in the past. So now with this, when they lay off someone, if they can't rehire them now that they've received the loan money, the law says that they still have a safe harbor that would still allow them to apply for forgiveness of the loan as long as they've made reasonable efforts to rehire those employees. So that's a really good thing that wasn't in the act before.
I love how when these different laws or things are written, reasonable effort. What's reasonable?
Right, exactly.
If I'm not getting hired back, they're not reasonable. If I got hired back, they're reasonable. So yeah, there's always some leeway in these different laws and rules, right?
There are. It is. I always tell employers that I represent, go ahead and send them a letter if you're trying to rehire them.
Mm-hmm.
Send them a letter saying that you're extending the offer for them to come back.
Right.
So that this way you've got some documentary proof that
Constructive notice.
Yes.
Is that kind of constructive notice term? Would that be?
Well, kind of, yes,
similar?
actual note. You're sending them this letter, please come back.
Yeah.
And if they don't come back, it shows that you're making an effort to get them back.
Right.
And you've got a piece of paper that shows so. So
Nice.
that's another good thing. It also is giving the borrowers
Yeah.
10 months to apply for forgiveness. So before, you had to do it right at the end of the period, which would have been no later than June 30th. But now you've got 10 months to apply for forgiveness from the date that you received the funds or the date of your next payroll period after you received the funds, or 10, from 10 months from that date. So you've got extra time to make that application. The SBA has come up with an 11-page form, nothing short,
Wow.
to apply for forgiveness.
Yeah.
And so, they want to make sure that you've utilized the funds for legitimate purposes that,
Right.
that the act was designed for. Loans that are made for over $2 million, they're going to have to go through additional scrutiny that people borrowing lesser amounts don't have to.
Yeah.
But they still have to complete this 11-page application process and provide all of the documentation. Now, the good news is you do not have to start repaying the loan until you get approval from the SBA or your lender.
Okay.
Whereas before, the repayment was to start right away at the end of your 8-week period. That's no more. It's extended till you get approval, because what they don't want to see happen is they don't want to see somebody that's made payments on a loan that's likely going to be forgiven.
Right. Gotcha.
So with the loan, what they'll do, it's not an all or nothing thing. You can get some of the loan approved for forgiveness and some of it not be approved for forgiveness if you don't have adequate documentation. The good news is it's about a 1% interest rate right now, which there is no way on earth you're going to get that at, for any other small business loan
Right.
out there. So it's a phenomenal opportunity. And
Yeah,
if you're a small business owner, if you're eligible and you qualify, you should definitely apply, because you've got till June 30th, the end of the month.
Deadline's coming up. It is. And we're talking with attorney Millicent Athanason here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Now, Millie, when people look at these, sometimes they're overwhelmed. They're like, "Hey, listen, I'm a small business owner. I run an air conditioning company, a contracting company, or they don't understand these things. What is your office going to help them? How do they get help with this?"
Yes, I would certainly recommend that you either utilize a certified public accountant or an attorney to help you navigate these waters. Because let's face it, this is all new stuff, and the rules are changing as we go. It's not like a set thing that's in. We can compare it to some history of what's happened before.
Right.
This is all new territory for everybody out there.
Yeah.
So your tax advisor can certainly tell you about how other government programs work and how likely it is that a certain act will happen based on what you do. And either an attorney or an accountant can certainly help you complete all the paperwork, make sure you have the right answers before you go in there so that you're not just shooting from the hip, but that you're actually planned and ready to go. So those kinds of things, I think it's helpful to have a professional on your side.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is when you look at the way you structure these things. And if you put them together properly, I remember when I was in the mortgage industry, one of the first things I learned is, hey, if I put together a full file with all the income documents, the bank statements, if they're divorced, there's a divorce decree in there, you think ahead, you put together a full file, it's going to go through underwriting a lot faster.
Absolutely. And that's the process here. You want to get that loan forgiven.
Yeah.
They're giving you the ability to do so. So why not take advantage of that and make the most of it?
Yeah, be smart about it and learn. And again, remember the show. We've got a lot of resources for you here. It's a consumer advocate-based program, over 50 show partners, 80 different categories of consumer advocate content and advice here on the show. All you have to do is reach out to our hotline, 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline here, 813-670-7372. Call or text that number. It's an off-air number. And also consumerqb.com, a plethora of information on our website, consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. Now, Millie, let's talk a little bit more, what you do, what you offer, a little more direct to our listeners. How can they, engage with you?
Oh, absolutely. Please. I am located at 9020 Little Road. It's Rancho Del Rio Drive at the intersection of Little Road in Newport Richey, Florida. My number is 376-9100 or toll free. It's 1-833-ASK-MILLY, MILLY. And we're there 5 days a week. If necessary, 6 days a week. We have our cell phone. We're on duty. When people need us, we're here.
They call, we answer, right?
You got that one right.
That's the way it goes.
Yes.
Hey, that's the best way to get deals done.
You got it.
That's right. So I love the 833 Ask Millie, MILLY. Yes. That's nice and easy. And then what types of law, what areas can you help people with?
Well, I do help with certain small business matters, but primarily I do plaintiff's personal injury and I do family law. Those are my two primary areas of practice. Yep. I've been practicing for over 31 years now, so...
So you're kind of new at it then.
Yeah, fairly new, yes.
Now, Millie, let me ask you, with the whole COVID-19 Zoom, are you doing Zoom trials? Are you doing jury trials via Zoom? We heard stories out of Texas about a Zoom trial where they caught the jury looking at their phone and not paying attention to the trial.
Yeah. No, right now, and I'm sure that certain procedures are going to change over time. Right now, we're doing our hearings telephonically. All depositions are being done via Zoom meeting. Some hearings are being done via Zoom or closed circuit TV, depending on whether you're doing civil or criminal work. Yeah. All of our mediations are being done via Zoom conferencing. And I'll tell you, it's really funny. So like last week I was doing depositions. I represent the plaintiffs, obviously, in an auto negligence case. Mm-hmm. And the defense lawyer, you can hear the dogs barking in the background.
Nice.
And people jumping in the pool. These are things that never happened before.
Right.
Prior to COVID-19, we didn't do depositions that way.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, courts wouldn't allow, evidentiary testimony to be presented unless it was in person. They didn't really allow it telephonically, or if they did, it was very rare. Now it's becoming the norm.
Wow.
So things are really changing and advancing in the practice of law. And I think these changes are going to be around even after this COVID-19 crisis subsides, because people are finding that it's more convenient. They're getting more work done in their offices. Why leave if we don't have to?
Yeah, and it's an interesting story as well. Our producer teed up for us. Can you be fired for protesting in Florida? And, it played out several times in Tampa Bay, recent it's talking about here different types of issues. But, yeah, Florida's an at-will state. You can be fired for a good reason, a bad reason, or no reason at all, right?
Yeah, I think there's going to be litigation on that matter. I think actually the person protesting has probably a better argument in my opinion, although I am not a constitutional lawyer, but the right to freedom of speech is certainly a God-given right in this country.
Right on.
And if they're not on the clock at the time that they're protesting, unless they're saying something negative about the employer, I don't really see how it's going to harm the employer. I think they would have to show some sort of harm, and I don't think there's anything out there to that effect that would warrant limiting their rights.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Well, you look reading this article briefly, I skimmed it. It just, they went to the protest, Black Lives Matter, and then they were fired. But the barbecue joint says, well, yeah, it wasn't for that. It was something else. And so it becomes he said, she said. How do you prove it, right? Unless it's in text or an email or something like that.
Absolutely. Or if somebody heard it that was there when it happened or something like that. It is definitely difficult. And especially in an at-will state, certainly they can say it's for some other reason if they think you're being radical or anything like that. But clearly, I mean, even public officials are joining in the march. So I think they're going to have a hard time with that argument.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you there. That's going to be a challenge. All right, stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got more from our expert contributors. Attorney Millie Athanason on the show here. We got Gregg Bowman, the AC guy of Tampa Bay. Find out about indoor air quality and what you might not know, some of the silent killers that you can't really see. And then also coming up later in the show, Michael Riker, really interesting technology platform that he has that can help businesses here in Tampa Bay as well. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Feel-good story of the day is a good one as well. 9-year-old Kenyan boy recognized by the president for inventing hand washing machine. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. We appreciate you spending some time with us right here, our radio family. We do appreciate you hanging out with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you may need it. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
Consumer Advocate Hotline. Call or text that line. It's an off-air number, 813-670-7372. This segment is brought to you by Two Maids and a Mop, the official cleaning partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Two Maids and a Mop. Say hello to Tabitha and her team. She's the owner of the Clearwater location for Two Maids and a Mop. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties. Safe, reliable, professional-grade cleaning. Two Maids and a Mop, the official cleaning partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, a couple of hot listings here for this segment. We've got beautiful waterfront listing at 6417 Yvette Drive. This is in Hudson Beach, Florida, Pasco County, waterfront, right on a deep water access canal. And bring your boat, bring your jet skis, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage. Great opportunity to live the Florida lifestyle right here in Tampa Bay. Deep saltwater canal, access to the wide open waters of the Gulf of Mexico. A great opportunity here in Tampa Bay. 212 Bunker Hill Lane. This is a property in Dunedin, right on the causeway. It's 212 Bunker Hill Lane, Dunedin. No HOA fees at this beautiful townhome. And you've got water views from 3 sides, no HOA fees, great opportunity to own. And you're close to the ferry that goes to Honeymoon Island. A lot of great opportunities right here in Pinellas County, one of the hottest real estate markets in the country. Check out all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, we got Gregg Bowman, the AC guy of Tampa Bay, back in studio. How you doing, Gregg?
Good to be back. It's definitely been a little bit since I've been here. It looks a little different with plexiglass and everything else up.
Yeah, we're COVID-19 free here.
Right.
Disinfecting and all that good stuff. And that's what you're doing in the field now too, right?
Yeah, it definitely made a change in how we have to operate in business. It's a new world out there, having to, wear face masks and booties and gloves, and we're sterilizing our trucks and how to go contactless, as far as how we interact with our customers. So it's been an adventure, but it's been fun.
We're getting through it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, we are. It seems to be. Things are starting to open back up. So hopefully it'll continue to move in that direction.
Yeah, real estate's been popping, the deemed essential real estate and lots of contracts coming in, and good thing, people are moving to Tampa Bay, I think even more so. So our businesses will flourish. Your business is going to flourish. People moving from New York, New Jersey, the California, those high tax states, those states where it's just a lot of urban areas. They're moving away from a lot of those urban areas. States like Ohio, coming down to Florida. So coming down for this beautiful sunshine, and a lot more than just sunshine here in Tampa Bay.
Right, definitely. And we're here to make sure they're comfortable while they're here. So
that's right. Now, when you think about the AC system, you often say take care of your AC so it takes care of you when you need it. What are some quick tips that consumers can do to make sure, especially during this time of year, man? I tell you, it seemed like last week there was one of the days was super hot. Wednesday was a super hot day last week. Man, that humidity's been ticking up lately.
Yeah, definitely. It's been warm, and our phones are definitely reflecting that. But a consumer can definitely do a couple things to help keep their air conditioner from acting up on them. Number one is make sure the filters are being changed or maintained. That's the most important self-help or DIY thing you can do, is make sure those filters are clean. That more than anything probably causes the most amount of problems with an air conditioner. On top of that, about the only other DIY thing would be just kind of keep an eye on your drain. If you know where your drain comes out, they all have to drain out into a green space somewhere. So somewhere outside it should be draining on the grass or in a flower bed. Just keep an eye on it, make sure it's draining. If you see a lot of slime and stuff starting to appear on the end of the drain, it's usually an early warning indicator that the drain is getting slimed up and maybe become a problem. I would definitely recommend at least an annual maintenance routine. We do our VIP program, which we've talked about numerous times, but we do it twice a year in that, but at least an annual. If you don't want to do it twice a year, at a minimum, you should be at least doing an annual professional check on the system, make sure everything's good and not going to give you any grief.
Right. And the indoor air quality is one of those things that people don't really understand. We've got one of our newer show partners as well, Brandon Faust with Mold Zero. He talks about, different scenarios that he's seen with clients, and even personally where he's had some mold growing behind the baseboards, and it's like hard to find. But just in general, using your AC to act as a filtration between that air quality. You mentioned the EPA in several shows as well.
Yeah, the EPA has for years has said that the air inside our homes is 5 times more polluted than the air outside, and there's proof beyond belief of that fact. But the air conditioning system is the easiest way to tackle that inside your home. It basically is moving the air and exchanging the air inside your home, recirculating the air inside your home constantly. So there are devices that can be attached to that to filter, the air, like traditional, air filters, but there are upgraded versions of that, as well as indoor air quality treatment devices like ultraviolet lights, ion generators, those types of things that will work to remove and eliminate bacteria, viruses, molds, mildews in the air. So it often isn't thought of as the possibility for that, but your air conditioner can definitely be used, to do that. And we're actually seeing, in light of the whole COVID thing, a lot of interest in that of, what can I do about particularly viruses in my air, especially since COVID spread airborne. And there are devices, products that can tackle that. So much so to the point that on a global level, supply is extremely limited. We're struggling to get the products. They're on back order, a lot of them right now. Even on the maintenance side of it, replacing, maintenance parts. We're having a hard time getting those maintenance parts even right now because of everything.
Interesting. We're talking with Gregg Bowman here, the AC guy of Tampa Bay on the Consumer Quarterback Show, longtime friend of the program. And we often talk a lot about supporting the local economy. It's going to be a collaborative effect of local business owners, citizens, nonprofits, government, coming together, supporting local businesses here in Tampa Bay now more than ever. It's going to be a collaborative approach that's going to help pull us all out of this cumulatively, working together, support the local economy here in Tampa Bay. Gregg Bowman, AC guy of Tampa Bay, on the show. Now, Gregg, you have your VIP program, which to me is a no-brainer. We've got it on our personal residence, and it's great. You guys come out and check out the filters and check everything and make sure the system's operating. What's the cost of that? I remember it was super low cost.
Yeah, it's $14 a month is basically what it works out to. If you have multiple systems, it would be per system, but $14 a month covers us coming out twice a year, doing the full maintenance regimen, basically, so you don't have to think about it. It's kind of what we call set it, forget it type of mentality. We'll take care of it. You don't have to worry about it. We'll remind you when it's due, send out postcards, emails, schedule it with you, at your convenience. But we take care of all that maintenance, and then we also give some other perks. If something does break and you need a repair or something like that, you get a discount of 20% on that. You don't pay any overtime fees if you're on that program. So if it breaks at 2 a.m. on July 4th, we're out there fixing it at regular hour rates. So it's a good program, to make sure your system's being taken care of at a very reasonable rate.
Very cool. You got a great team as well. I remember one of the gentlemen that came out, last name was Fika, I think it was. I sold his mother's house. He's like, I know you. You sold my mom's house. What a small world it is here in Tampa Bay, right?
It is, yeah. I don't think I ever mentioned that to you, but when I first came on the show, he had mentioned, I think I know that guy. I think he took care of my mom's real estate. So.
We got her property sold down in South Tampa. Yeah. And, here's a question that comes up. I just had a property. One of the things that we hate in real estate is to go under contract, go through inspections. The inspector says, well, the roof's got average life on it. The ACs are older. They try to estimate the average life of the AC, and then the water heater, that's going to break down. And so, so some buyers that are kind of a little bit hesitant, scary, they back out of the contract. So now you've got 10, 15 days off the market. In some cases, we negotiate much less on the inspection periods than a lot of other companies do, I believe. But how long can you estimate the average life of an AC unit based on just an inspection? If you go look at it, can you say, that one probably has 2 or 3 years left, or that might have 5 or 6, 7 years? How do you go about that?
Average lifespan on air conditioning has really come down. When I started in this industry, I was working for my dad when I was a little, from probably about 5 years old. I used to go along with him as a gopher, handing him tools.
Oh, yeah, I was a gopher too.
Yeah. So, but in mid 80s, something like that, I was in high school and I was working for him. Back then, an air conditioner would last 20 years. Wow. Today, average life, especially here in Florida, since we run them so hard, is probably between 10 and 12 years. Maybe if you're lucky, you might get 15.
Wow.
Occasionally, we'll see an old antique that lasts 20, 25 years, but extremely rare. But if your unit is in that 10 to 12 time frame, you're getting into that time frame where you should start thinking about hey, if something major occurs, it's going to probably be better to look at replacing rather than fixing. I can imagine in real estate that's frustrating because, like you said, you go through all that process and then that gets thrown into the mix and a buyer gets gun shy. So if it is in that 10 to 12 time frame, it's something to think about. Now, it doesn't mean it's not going to last. Maybe you will get lucky and you'll get 20 years out of it, but it's at the point where if a major repair occurs, from a financial aspect, it just doesn't make sense to repair an air conditioner in that time frame, unless it's easy.
Now, why are the older ones? You mentioned the older ones may have lasted longer than newer. Is it's just for efficiencies of scale? They're building them faster, cheaper. Is it that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's just basically a commentary on our society as a whole. When I started, there was a couple of air conditioning companies that are absolutely no longer in business anymore, but they made amazing air conditioners that would last 25 years. Wow. But they're out of business because their air conditioners lasted too long. So it's basically sad, but that's kind of what it is. And you find that in anything. You find that in appliances. You find that in anything in our society anymore. A company who makes a product that lasts just long enough so that somebody has to buy their product again is interesting. It's a business thing. So they're just not built like they used to. I mean, if we built air conditioners to last 25 years, they would cost 2 or 3 times what they cost today to put in, because they've limited the amount of the millimeters of copper and steel and everything else that they put in them to just the right levels to make them last just long enough. So it's kind of a sad commentary on our culture, but is what it is.
You see it in a lot of different places. What is the average cost of a new system for an AC?
It's interesting you ask that, because we get asked that all the time, and it's really such a wide range. It's like asking, what does it cost to buy a new car? You can buy a new car for $20,000, but you can spend $100,000 too. Air conditioning, you can probably get one in the 3 to 4 range on the low side, but you can easily spend 15 or even 20 on the high end if you want a high end unit. So it's so hard to
small condo versus a big single family.
Correct. Yeah. And the different features that they come with, a basic, entry level efficiency versus a variable speed zoned high end, high efficiency unit. Those things all factor in, just like, buying a car, if you want the budget basic model or do you want the Lamborghini, different price ranges. So we get asked that all the time. What's it going to cost for this? And it's so hard because there's just so many variables. It's not like it was when my dad first started. There was basically one option then. Now there's 40 or 50. So
exactly,
it's different.
Gregg Bowman, the AC guy of Tampa Bay. Highly recommend working with Gregg Bowman, the AC guy of Tampa Bay, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to jump into some technology talk here. Michael Riker from Oggvo, they're going to be reaching out to us via Zoom, and more from Gregg Bowman as well in our lightning round. Plus, our feel-good story of the day, 9-year-old Kenyan boy recognized by the president for inventing hand washing machines. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. Of course, we would love to talk to you. We want to help you win in any marketplace. And every day on the show, we're going to tell you something good in our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, so we've got a 9-year-old Kenyan boy that has received a prestigious award for building a hand washing machine to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. And Stephen Wamakatoka was named as Kenya's President's Kenyatta as a recipient of an award here alongside dozens of others who helped contribute to the country's anti-COVID-19 fight. Stephen's invention allowed people to clean their hands without touching anything, therefore minimizing any possible contact with the virus during the process. His equipment was using like a pedal-like lever, which users stepped on to release water. He came up with the idea after watching it on TV show. And Stephen's father told BBC that he bought pieces of wood to make a window frame, but when he came back after school one day, he found the machine. He posted his son's invention on Facebook and was surprised at how many people shared it. And Stephen said he wants to be an engineer when he grows up, and the governor has promised to give him a scholarship. There's our feel-good story of the day, coming from you out of Kenya. All right, we're going to go to the phones now. We got Michael Riker coming in via Zoom. He's visiting us from Oggvo. He's the head of enterprise sales. Hey, Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on again.
Hey, my pleasure. A lot of real estate agents listen to the show, mortgage, title. A lot of folks are involved with the real estate industry and, of course, outside of that industry. But you've got some pretty cool, exciting integrations that you've added automation into your platform, from what I hear.
Yeah, so through this COVID situation, one of the big things that we've been working on is helping our clients with more automation. So then that way they have more time to focus on the needs of their clients during this time. So as far as like brick and mortar payment processing, your major credit card swipers, so the Square app, we're integrated with that. So now anytime a client would swipe their card at your POS system, it automatically will trigger the request to be able to get a review on all the major platforms. We also have the Stripe integration as well. We recently just did a Zapier integration. With that Zapier integration, that'll be huge for the ones that we don't have a full built integration with, because it'll act as a bridge between thousands of different applications and platforms to streamline and automate the process of you asking, guiding, and reminding your clients to leave you reviews. In the real estate and mortgage space specifically, the big one that we've partnered with is LionDesk. I know that they have a lot of partnerships with MLSs across the country. Agents get this and mortgage lenders get this once they come across the specific things that they're doing with getting on board in the MLSs. So they get those for free. Then they have upgrade options. So we're fully integrated with that platform. There's about 165,000 real estate and mortgage professionals who use that. So just more tools to be able to integrate and streamline the process of you getting that feedback that's very important for you from your clients, to be able to let everybody know the good work that you're doing out there in the marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you have a real estate closing or a deal, a process goes through, you want to reach out. Oggvo can help you automate that process of asking, guiding, and reminding your clients to leave you a positive review, leave you a nice review on many of the platforms. So it automates, optimizes, and protects your reputation, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, digital footprints, people, every time someone's coming across you now, whether it's, referral, a marketing event, they see you posting videos or things on social media, you want to have an accurate representation of the work and the service that you're providing for your clients in the area.
Yeah, absolutely. Oggvo.com as well. Oggvo, Oggvo.com. Michael Riker is on the Consumer Quarterback Show, head of President Sales. And also social media is a key aspect of what we're doing these days as well, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. We're always needing to keep our clients informed. So one of the tools that we've added to save you more time and more automation is to be able to make one post, one video, one photo, and be able to, with one click of a button, have that go out to all of your social media channels. So save you a lot of time with keeping your client base and your potential clients up to date with the things that you have going on with your business. A new tool that we actually just added to that is the ability to schedule out those posts. So that way, every week, every month, you can actually schedule out those posts so it's a set and forget. And then that way it keeps you on top of having that consistent new content coming out to the marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely. Making sure you're putting out viable content, top tier content is what, a lot of the social media influencers talk about, and putting out content that's going to educate, that's going to help people understand more about their buying decisions. Being a consumer advocate is what we do here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And now, Michael, does your application work with other companies, other, trades, for example, home services? Will it work with them?
Absolutely. So that's one of the things that we pride ourselves in is we are very heavy with the real estate and mortgage industry. However, roofers, contractors, anybody who's getting back into work right now, restaurants, that's one of the big reasons why we did the Square and Stripe integration as well. So that way all these brick and mortars that are going to be reopening and consumers are going to be rushing back to the marketplace, swiping their cards, it'll allow you to get the good feedback from your clients very easily and effectively.
Yeah, that's an important tool to understand, is the social media side of things, understanding, how you can get in front of your clientele, and that most people are scrolling on their phone. It's an interesting, I did a Facebook Live. I live on a lake, so I jumped on my Sea-Doo. I went to the Tarpon Turtle and ordered a fried grouper sandwich, one of my favorites, right? And I put hashtag real estate water tour, real estate tour, Tampa Bay. And then I rode over the lake, across the lake to one of my real estate properties that I have listed on the lake. So it's kind of just an interesting, 30, 45-minute clip. Over 2,000 views on that instantly. Over 2,000 views. I haven't even seen the video recently, but I wouldn't doubt it if it's over 3,000 or 4,000 views. People are looking for things to see online.
Absolutely. I actually watched that video that you posted. And that's the thing, you keep good content, you keep good ideas of things that are happening in the area, be different from what everybody else is doing. Who else is riding a Ski-Doo up to one of their listings? You're not just doing the, boring thing of driving up and showing a video of the house or a couple pictures of it. So you gave that really good personal touch. It interacts with your audience. So absolutely, that was a good touch that you did. And the amount of eyeballs that you got off of that just by having fun riding your Ski-Doo around, getting lunch and going and looking at one of your properties, huge free marketing tool right there that you leveraged.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah, we have a lot of fun with it. Michael Riker, Oggvo, on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We also have Gregg Bowman, AC guy of Tampa Bay, and we're going to jump into our lightning round here.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, here we go. Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Gregg Bowman, AC guy of Tampa Bay.
Just when it comes to your air conditioner, as we've said over and over again, love your air conditioner so you can love it back. Give it the maintenance that it deserves. It is a machine. It works hard. We run them 3,000 plus hours a year here in Florida. So anything you can do to help make it easier for your machine to keep you cool and comfortable. Our maintenance program is designed for that, our VIP program. We can take care of it all for you.
Awesome. Gregg Bowman, AC guy of Tampa Bay, longtime friend of the program right here in Tampa Bay. Support your local economy, local vendor right here in Tampa Bay. Let's go to Michael Riker, Oggvo, top tips.
Yeah, thanks. Really what I want to be able to leave some people with here today is right now more than ever, the reputation of the service that you're providing for your clients with all the turmoil and uncertainty that's happening in the world. We've internally had the most sales and increasing of helping businesses during this time because people are starting to realize more now than ever how important having a good reputation in reviews and being found through your reviews and turning those into referrals, what that can do for your business. So if you haven't started looking into these things and you haven't worked on your business recently and taken a look at that stuff, I would, welcome anybody to contact me. I'll take a look at your business with you, how consumers are currently seeing you, how you're currently being found, and who's getting the calls in your local market.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right, Michael. Today, I want to talk a little bit about Tampa employment versus the nation and also versus Florida. So if you look at total, the unemployment information and the employment information, it says that, information can be a key indicator when searching for a new job, a good indicator of strength of the job market, for example, and it's all intertwined with the real estate market. So income per capita, the median household income in Tampa is $31,605, which is 15% higher than the average of Florida, which is also 6% higher than the national average. And then also the median household income is $45,874, which is 6% lower than the Florida average. which is also a little bit lower than the national average. So think about that when you're looking at, relocation. A lot of people relocating from New York, New Jersey, California, some of those high income states, some of those states that people are leaving in droves like California. They're coming to Florida. They're looking to invest in real estate in Florida, buying up investment properties, turning them into Airbnb properties if you can. And by the way, make sure you check your municipalities, because not all properties can be an Airbnb. It's up to the HOA and the local municipalities. So, hey, another great show. I want to thank our expert contributors. We've got Gregg Bowman, AC guy of Tampa Bay, attorney Millie Athanason on the Consumer Quarterback Show, as well as Michael Riker, Oggvo.com. Check him out online, Oggvo.com. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness, something as simple as packing up some leftover food or clothing, handing it to that person that you see in need. Be a force for good in the community. Maybe donate some time, donate some food. Lots of things that you can do to be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time